Okay. All right. So welcome everybody. There should be a couple more people coming, but we'll go ahead and get started. So this is Mindful Movement, and we are meeting for about 45 minutes, 50 minutes before Jonathan's Dharma talk. And this is an opportunity to practice together live and to be with each other in Sangha. If there's any kind of physical issues that you're having, it's really helpful to let me know in the chat, or you're welcome to unmute yourself and let me know. If you don't feel comfortable doing so, that's totally fine. In the future, you're welcome to email me ahead of time just to let me know. So,
Rita,
okay. Hold on 1 second. Okay, everybody, so make sure that you have a space here. And as I was saying to our other classmate, to make sure that you are taking care of yourself. If at any time in our practice together, you're feeling like you can't do the movement or it makes you feel worse in any capacity, please pause, stop. Don't continue, but allow yourself to rest and do what you need to do. So we're going to actually start on the floor today, and just making your way down. It's really important when we do practice as well, just in terms of mindful movement as a reminder. It's very helpful to allow the eyes to soften as we do our practice, and also to really pay attention to the quality of the movement. So you want to make sure that the movement is smooth, that your breath is smooth, your breathing is your guide, and maybe operating at about 50% of your capacity. So just really letting yourself develop a relationship with ease. To get better, we often feel like we have to push ourselves, and really it's the opposite of that. So finding how little you need to do in order to do the movement is really a wonderful thing. We're going to actually start on our backs, lying on our backs with our feet flat on the floor. So just taking a moment to settle yourself on the floor, the eyes resting into the sockets. Taking a moment to feel the bones of your body, the feet, and the pelvis, and the shoulder blades, maybe the arms and the hands. And the position of the head, the back of the head. And you may notice that one part of your body might feel maybe more alive or present or accessible to you as you lie here. And recognizing that in all things, that even with the body, things are impermanent. So as we continue in our practice, other parts of the body might feel more alive and accessible. And that the overall space that you are creating and making for yourself might become alive. And might be a space for yourself that can encourage presence and awareness. So taking this time to also be aware of the intention of what brings you to practice today. And allowing for the breath to continue to descend into the body. If you're finding that awareness of the breath in the body is uncomfortable for you, you're also welcome just to consider the deepening of the breath into the space around you. If you've had any trauma or any type of recent event where closing your eyes makes you feel more anxious or more challenged, or even makes you dissociate a little, then it's helpful to have the eyes open, just softly gazing maybe in the lower third of your visual field, just finding a natural space for your eyes to rest. And we're going to start with a very gentle movement here of just raising and lowering the knees. So it's as if you're marching in place. So continuing with the breath and the softening of the eyes, just allowing for a gentle movement of the legs. And at any time, pausing and resting. And pausing from there. Noticing the presence and contact of the feet and how just those few little steps in place might have shifted the presence of the feet connected to the earth. And from here, we're going to very gently press the feet into the earth and lift the pelvis off the ground and then down. So it's this very small movement, maybe a couple of inches off the ground and down. And we can, if you'd like, just very gently tap the pelvis or the bottom on the floor. A very gentle waking up of the legs and the pelvis. And pausing from there. And then with our next inhalation, just allowing for the arms to drift up and overhead. And then exhaling them back down by the sides. So I usually do 5 to 10 movements, just finding a flow of movement and breath as we go through our practice. And then in this next movement here, we're going to add in the lifting of the pelvis and the moving of the arms. So very gently lifting the pelvis up and raising the arms up. And bringing the arms down and lowering the pelvis. Keeping the back of the neck nice and long. And gently coming back to pause and rest here and noticing how these first few movements starts to foster an awareness and movement of energy in the body. And we'll bring the right knee up towards the chest, gently grasping. If that's available, if you have any knee issues, you can grab underneath around the thigh. And from here, you can stay right here and breathe into the belly. For those of you who would like to straighten that left leg, you can, just inhaling. And as you exhale, drawing the foot back, left foot back towards the pelvis. So we're doing a movement of the left leg back and forth. Right knee is still up against the chest. Continuing with the breath. And releasing that right knee. Grasping the left knee, bringing it up to the chest and sliding the right foot now. Bringing the left knee down. And with the arms by the sides, we'll move, keeping the hands and the arms on the ground. Well, if you've ever made a snowman, we're going to do that movement. So sweeping the arms out and up, inhaling and exhaling. So taking the space with the arms. And as the arms come back down by the sides, inhaling, drawing both knees up towards the chest. And then bringing the arms out to shoulder height, resting on the ground. Just allowing the right knee to fall over to the right and coming back to center, and the left knee falling over to the left. So this is a very mild rotation here to warm up. If you feel like you have the range of motion and can do this without discomfort, you can keep the knees together and rotate from side to side. Remembering to breathe, noticing the quality of the movement, of breathing. One more to each side. And bringing the knees back up to center here. We're keeping the left knee bent here, but extending the right knee towards the ceiling. And bending the knee, the right knee, and now extending the left knee. So moving back and forth, extending, straightening the knee, bending it, and then straightening the other knee and bending it. It's as if you're pushing the heel towards the sky. And one more of those. And then some ankle and wrist rotations. Letting the pops and bubbles out of the joints, switching directions. And releasing the feet back down to the ground. We're going to very gently turn onto a side that feels good to you, that's more comfortable, with the knees bent and using the bottom arm as a pillow just for a moment. Taking a breath in and out here, just letting the body settle. And then placing that top down on the floor in front of your chest, pressing up so that you can press yourself up into all fours. With the hands in front of you, the hands fully spread so that the palms are flat on the mat. Middle finger is lined up with the edges of the mat. Just take a moment here to rock back and forth over the hands so that you can feel just the spreading of weight through the palms into the fingers. Now, if this causes you any discomfort in the wrists, then it is a good idea to put padding underneath the heels of the hands just to reduce the pressure on the wrist joints. And you can continue to do that still, but just making sure that the wrists are a little bit elevated. So figuring out which works for you. So part of mindfulness practice is really paying attention to what the body is saying and discerning when you need to make a shift or to support, but paying attention to your wisdom, your body. Okay, and pausing here. So the hands are about an inch in front of the shoulders. The knees are underneath the hips. We're going to go into the first and second movements of the spine, which some people call cat-cow. So just allowing for, as you exhale, drawing the belly button in towards the spine and allowing for the back to start to arch up like a cat. Inhale, releasing the belly, down, 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 and the arch will reverse in the other direction. So we'll do that 5 times or so. If you find that you need a little more time to do some of these movements, by all means, go ahead and do what feels natural and good. Now you may have noticed I'm not doing the full range of motion here. The next couple of movements, what we're going to do is exhale, drawing the belly button in, and continue to allow that movement to move up through the spine to the point that the chin wants to tuck in towards the chest, lengthening through the back of the neck. Inhaling, releasing the belly, expanding the ribs, and allowing the front of the chest, front of the neck, shoulder blades to move down the back. Exhaling, drawing the belly button in. So we'll continue that movement a couple more times, just so you can feel the movement transfer all the way up through the spine, through the top of the head, and through the bottom of the pelvis. And coming into a neutral position where the arch is in neither direction, we're going to go into a little bit of a rotation here of the trunk by taking the right hand, sliding it under the left arm, and bringing that right hand back and bringing it up out to the other side. So this is called threading the needle. And just really being easy with this movement here. If you'd like to really localize this in the spine a little bit more, especially if your shoulders are still warming up, then don't straighten the arm out. Just let the elbow stay a little bent so that as you raise that right arm towards the sky, that it doesn't really fully extend. And bringing that right hand down, and we'll go on to the other side. Allowing the eyes to travel softly, as if the eyes and the hand are drawing parallel lines of movement together. And bringing that left hand down. Pausing here for a breath, just noticing the quality of energy in the body. And noticing the overall quality of your practice. And maybe asking yourself, do I need to slow down? Do I need to do a little more or a little less? So we're going to go into more of a child's pose here. So bringing the knees a little wider, just allowing the body to move back, bending at the knees and pressing back up. So for some of you, if you have knee issues, then it might be better or easier for you to turn the feet under, lift the knees and press back into a downward dog. For those of you who feel challenged or bringing the head down is uncomfortable or challenging, then just continue with pressing back into a child's pose. Don't do this mild inversion here because then your head will be below the hips. And we're going to come to a pause now in that table position again. And very gently start to walk your knees towards your hands. And pressing yourself up onto the knees, we're going to come into a side bending here at the waist. So just allowing the arms to be long by the sides. And from here, just allowing that right hand to slide down the outer leg and bringing the left shoulder up to the left ear as you side bend. So the arms stay by the sides. We're just side bending here at the side waist, but raising the opposite shoulder up to the ear. And breathing, inhale, raising that right shoulder as you side bend left. Exhale, inhale. And as you come back up with the exhale, really bring that shoulder that was elevated towards the ear down, down, down in the opposite direction. And one or two more for each side. We're going to bring ourselves up into standing. So bringing that right or left foot in front of you, whatever's easier, curl the back foot under and step up over that bent leg into standing. So just taking a moment here to feel your body. For those of you who are feeling challenged by standing or have a little bit more dizziness, make sure that you have a place where you can rest and receive support. We're going to be doing some single leg stance on your legs, so it's helpful to just have a little extra stability. But we're going to start first by rocking back and forth, ball to heel of the feet. Noticing the spreading and softening of the feet as we move forward and back. Feet do so much for us. And pausing, allowing for the weight to balance between front and back. And now shifting your weight left to right. As we shift from left to right leg, see if you can accentuate it a little bit so that you're more on the edges of the feet. So that as we shift left, that we're more on the edge of the left foot and the inner edge of the right. And as we shift right, on the outer edge of the right, inner edge of the left. Taking care here not to cause any discomfort or pain. If you have bunions, that might be a good reason to hold on to the chair just so that you're not doing full weight, just so that you can feel the edges and the presence of the bones of the feet. And coming to rest now, between front to back and side to side. And you may notice that from doing that, the edges of the feet may feel a little more prominent in your awareness. And so taking this moment here to see if you can distribute the weight of your body equally between the left and the right legs, but also around the edges of the feet. As we stand here, you might want to look down and just notice the position of your feet. And if need to, just to position them so both are pointing straight ahead. The feet are anywhere from hip to shoulder width apart. Allowing for the hands to come to the waist here, just start to allow the hips to go from side to side, like this little sachet here, moving the hips from side to side. And you'll notice that as I shift weight, that one hand will go up higher and the opposite knee will bend. So just feeling this sachet side to side, and then pausing here and just bringing your hands around the waist just so that you can feel and experience the hips as even. So when we go into these single leg stances, paying attention to the height of the hips, checking yourself. Because when the hips are even, then we know that the muscles of the hips are activated in a balanced way. And so when they're not, then you'll know to try to activate the muscles that need to work, need to engage. So we're going first to shift onto the left leg. And from here, we'll do some hip circles. So bending that right knee and bringing the leg out to the side and doing some circles. And shifting directions. Seeing if you can bring that knee higher than the waist. When we bring it higher than the waist, we're activating the psoas muscle, that hip flexor muscle that helps us with our posture and stability, and bringing that right foot down. Just noticing the impact of even that movement actually on your posture and on your stability through the foot. And shifting your weight over to the right leg, again, noticing your hips, keeping the hips nice and even, and doing hip circles for this leg. Switching directions. And bringing that foot down. We're going to bring in some sun breaths here just to further ground ourselves in our practice. So a sun breath is with the arms down by the sides, palms out, inhaling, raising the arms out to the sides, and exhaling with the hands down through the center. And just repeating that with a nice steady rhythm. Paying attention to the quality of arm movement, breath, eye movement. And last one, with the hands above you, palms touching. Exhale with intention down through the center. Letting the palms come down through the center, the eyes following the palms. Continue to let the hands come down towards the earth, looking down towards the earth with the eyes. And releasing the head and the body. And coming back to standing with the head facing forward. So we'll go into what's called tree pose here. So shifting your weight over to the left leg, engaging the edges of the feet. You might find that pressing the knee back will engage the thigh, and if you squeeze the butt muscles, that will press the hip forward. So squeezing the thigh and the hip will help the leg to be strong and stable. And turning this right knee out and allowing for the right heel to rest on the inner left ankle, pausing here. And we'll take a sun breath here, inhaling with the arms up, looking up, exhaling with the hands down to center. And you're welcome to pause right here, engaging the thighs, the hips, allowing for the weight to equalize between the left and the right legs, allowing for the hips to be even. For those of you who would like to do more of a traditional tree pose, you're welcome to slide this right foot up to the calf or up to the groin. And pressing equal and opposite with the left inner thigh and the right foot together. It's helpful as we do this pose, trees will naturally sway. And it's also helpful to allow for the eyes to rest in the lower third of the visual field, even maybe to choose a spot of rest, what some people call a drishti, lengthening through the back of the neck, and breath and breathing. And releasing the hands, releasing the foot, and coming back to weight bearing equally on both legs. And shifting weight over to the right leg now, engaging the hips, the thigh, and bringing the heel of the left foot to rest on the inner ankle of the right. Checking your hip height. And allowing for sun breath here, inhaling, exhaling, hands down to center, allowing the eyes to settle in the lower third of your visual field or even a point on the floor. For those of you who want to bring their foot up a little higher, you're welcome to do so at the calf or at the inner thigh. staying away from the side of the knee. The knee is fragile and is not able to withstand the force of pressing sideways on the opposite foot. Allowing the shoulders to fall away from the ears. And releasing the hands, releasing the foot. Take a moment to pause and feel the energy through the body. We're going to go into what are called warrior poses. These are standing poses. So the first one is warrior one, or a lunge. So standing at the top of your mat. If you need a chair for stability, you're welcome to put it at the top of your mat. And we'll shift the weight over to the left leg as we did before, stable knee and hip, stepping back with that right leg. Both feet are pointing forward, left knee over the left ankle. Maybe even just taking a moment to look down and just assuring yourself that the knee is pointing straight ahead. And as we stand in this place, press that right knee back as you descend the tailbone. And that will help the hip to open up a little bit more. And we'll take 5 breaths here with every exhalation, just allowing the shoulders to fall away from the ears, the tailbone to descend a little bit more. And with the arms, allowing for, as we inhale, the arms to move up. Chest opening, allowing for the front of the body to open. Fingers are wide and spread. If you'd like, you can look up towards the ceiling. And bringing that left hand down to the left thigh. We're going to turn the body to look towards the right, pivoting that right foot pivoting the right foot to point to the right, and bringing the right arm so that it's pointing backwards, palm down, and bringing the left arm up. So we're in what's called warrior 2 here. Allowing for that right arm to come down through the outer right leg. Inhale that left arm up and over. So side bending at the right side waist. And then bringing that left elbow down to the left knee, right arm up and over. We'll be moving back and forth here. Noticing your breath. Eventually making your way back to warrior 2 here. Turning your head to look over the left knee. Bringing the left hand down to the left knee and swinging that right arm forward and up. And doing some circles here with the arm and the trunk. just making sure that the trunk is moving with the arm so that the movement, this rotation, is occurring through the hips, through the trunk, and through the shoulder blade. Switching directions. And this last one, turning the body to look over the left leg and turning that right foot, that back leg, to face forward again. Inhaling that left arm up. Pause here for a breath. And exhaling, bringing the hands down to your thigh and stepping your feet together. So we'll go to the other side. Shifting weight over to the right leg. Stepping back with the left. Taking a glance down to check your knee. Settling the tailbone as you press that left knee back. Lifting through the chest and through the top of the head. Inhaling the arms up. And breathe. And bringing that right hand down, turning the body to face to the left, turning that left foot to face to the left, bringing that left arm down, right arm up. And coming into side bend of the left sideways by bringing the left hand to the outer left leg. And side bending with the right arm over the head. Bringing the right elbow down to the right knee. And continuing the side bending side to side. And coming back into this warrior position. Bringing that right hand down and swinging that left arm forward. And doing some circles here with the arm and the trunk. If you're feeling dizzy with this movement or unstable, then have the eyes facing forward over the right knee as the arm and the trunk move. Switching directions. And bringing that left arm forward, pointing over the right knee, turn that left foot to face towards the right. Inhaling the arms up. And bringing the hands down to the right thigh, stepping your feet together. Just pausing here and noticing the effect on your heart. Any sensation or quality of emotion that might be moving through the body. Any feeling of coolness or heat. And continuing to breathe into the space around you, breathing the whole body. We're going to go into our last pose here before finishing in a brief sitting. Those of you who like to finish in Shavasana corpse pose, which is a position where we lie on the ground to finish off yoga, you're more than welcome to do that. This last pose we're going to do is pigeon. And then for those of you who want to finish in sitting with me, you can, or continue into Shavasana. So sitting towards the edge of your chair, sliding your left foot in more towards the middle, and bringing this right ankle up to the left knee. So we're sitting in a cross-legged position with the hands at the ankle and the knee. And just let your body rock back and forth. Allowing the breath and the heart rate to settle in this new position. And continuing forward folding, so continuing to hinge forward over the hips, letting the chest stay as lifted as you can until you can really feel the stretch in that outer right hip. And then it's allowing your body to fold forward. And pressing yourself back up into sitting. Bringing both your right foot down, both feet flat on the floor. Allowing for the quietness that this indwelling pose facilitates. So bringing the left ankle on top of the right knee. Hinging back and forth. And continuing to hinge forward over the legs. And pressing yourself back up into sitting. If there's any kind of movement that you would like to finish off your practice with, this is the time to do so. I'm going to finish our practice with sitting and allowing for the breath to equalize between the inhalation and exhalation as the body starts to settle and be still. And allowing for the breath to breathe the whole body, breathe the space around us. remembering the prayers of the ancestors, the prayers of goodwill of those that have cared and prayed over us in our lives, whether seen or unseen, and the blessings that have brought us to this moment, and the vitality of our bodies continue to nurture and nourish us. And may the suffering of all beings be relieved and be at peace. Namaste, everyone.
Thank you, Rita.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much.
You're welcome.